Is it Andre?
Andre 3000.
And how's
As
the rest of it
Outcast.
It's
How's the rest of it go?
forever, ever. Anyway, would you like to prepare us in?
Forever,
Forever, ever. Popcorn Pundits, week 72.
That's
that
correct.
right?
That is correct. Yeah, I
That's
hadn't actually
correct.
thought about it this week, but yeah, it's 72.
72 weeks in the can. Well, 71 weeks in the can. We're going to get this one in the can first.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's your Popcorn Pundits. I am James Michael Mulcrone. Who are you?
Peter Ungar.
And who are
They
you?
know that by
Nikky.
now, surely.
Brand new listeners, they need to know who your gorgeous head belongs to.
Ah.
Yes, indeedy. We are a trio of cinema lovers who like to go to the cinema on a regular basis, ensuring that you are well informed of what's going on at the cinema and also what's going on your silver screen at home. Peter McPete,
We look great today.
don't we just?
do.
Yeah, today is
Suave.
sartorial.
Exactly. Soft silhouette
Yeah.
with a little bit of texture.
You're not a soft silhouette. I would say you're
I'm a-
quite structured.
I don't know. I've got a soft shoulder
It's
going
got a
on there.
formal jacket.
I think so.
Yeah.
Our format normally is we go through the top 10.
Sorry, you asked me a question. I totally blanked.
That's right. We usually go through the top 10 of the cinema charts of the latest releases, and then we usually highlight a movie that we've seen at the cinema. And then Peter's done a bit of homework if he's had time because he's a very busy man. And then Nikki's also got a brand new feature called
Nikky's sequel.
Nikky Sequel. However, stay tuned for the end of this podcast because we have a very, very important announcement to make.
We do.
If you make it to the end of this podcast without letting it slip, I'll be absolutely...
I'm letting nothing slip in you, darling.
I will be shocked as hell.
I will as well, to be fair,
tighty
Peter.
McTight. There's nothing slipping
I
inside
would
you.
put money on it, but you know what he's like when you say about putting money on
Actually,
stuff.
I can't say anything because it's below £1.
Yeah, you do, Paddington.
Yeah.
Do you want to kick things off at the top 10, Peter?
Please do.
Well, we're going to start at number 11 because number 11 is The Last Showgirl, which is the film that we reviewed last week.
Ah, Pammy Anderson.
Yeah, so it's been released for 2 weeks and it's dropped out of the top 10 already, which isn't much of a surprise. It's an
independent movie. Isn't
it is, and it's going to be a favourite for some people, but not a huge
Yeah,
amount.
it's an art house movie, and I have to say I've applaud all the actors in this film who have stepped up to the plate and went, do you know what? It may not make billions, but it's a beautiful little piece of artwork.
It was a beautiful piece of artwork, exactly right, and it is a movie.
Yes, indeedy.
Okay,
So, number 10.
Number 10 is Conclave. Why is this still sticking around? Honestly, it barely won an Oscar.
It barely, but it still did.
Black barely.
It won one or two Oscars, didn't it?
It won a couple, but
Did
nothing,
it?
nothing of any significance.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, I actually.
What's
thought
number 9?
Last week. Shut up. Number 9, Mufasa: The Lion King.
We've spoken enough about this one, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, and number 8 is Anora, and Anora is a really funny film. It's gonna be like another Shawshank Redemption.
I agree.
It's gonna be a film that most people will have missed in the cinema, but everyone who I know has now seen it has gone, oh my god,
Yeah.
what an amazing film!
Absolutely.
And it did win many more
It did.
Oscars
It
than
smashed
Conclave.
it at the Oscars.
And justifiably so. It was just a brilliant bit of storytelling,
It was.
and main character's great, but also the under actors were also absolutely fantastic.
As we
Brilliant.
discussed, the side actors made it, we think.
Exactly.
Would you like to let us know what was number 7, please?
I was going to do that. This is my job. I
That'd
don't
be
need
great.
prompting. Number 7, One of Them Days.
Thanks.
Excellent. Number 6. Sorry, you didn't tell me what to do next. So
Do you
I-
want to know what one of them days is?
Yes, please.
So it is a comedy, tragic comedy, and it is when her boyfriend takes her rent money, Alyssa and her roommate race against the clock to avoid eviction and keep their friendship intact. And one of the main actors is one of James's favourite rappers, SZA.
Oh,
You
yeah.
didn't say that.
I like a bit of scissor.
I didn't know it was pronounced scissor for ages.
Didn't have a
I
sister.
thought it was SZR.
Did you?
Yeah, stupid is as stupid does.
What's number
Is
6,
it-
Peter
Now,
McPete?
that sounds very much like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
It does indeed, but apart from the time travelling bit,
Yeah, apart from that bit.
Yeah.
But we
And
don't
the
know. We
women.
haven't seen it.
we haven't seen it.
It could be one of these. Anyway. Oh, we are really all over the place today. Number 6 is The Monkey, James's favourite film of all time ever.
I cannot believe this is only number 6. However, in a way, I really wish it didn't even make the top 10, so then it'll still be like a little dark secret that I kept to myself.
Yeah, but it's one of those films that if you meet anyone who likes horror, you
Yes.
have to tell them to go and see it
100%.
because it is a film made explicitly for huge horror fans.
It's a horror man's dream.
It's a horror man's comedy.
Yes, indeedy. Talking about that.
Number 5, Dogman.
Yes. Not Dogman.
Okay, number 4, Captain America : It's got a colon in it. Brave New World is bullshit.
It wasn't good, was it?
It was fucking awful.
Yes.
Absolutely awful.
However,
Number 3, Marching Powder. This
Yes.
is another one of those films where you convinced me you were going, and then I found out this evening you didn't go. It's just like you're trying to even. When you told me that you'd seen like 104 films like the year before we started this podcast,
you went, really?
no, I think you booked 104
Eight.
films.
80.
Maybe went
And
to see,
cancelled 99 of them.
yeah, maybe went to see 8.
Yeah, exactly.
Marching Powder is what's his face? What's his
Danny
name?
Dyer.
Danny Dyer, and
Yes.
and his son's in it as well, isn't he? Because
Apparently
apparently there's a
so.
wrestling scene that you could only do with a member of your own family.
Really?
Apparently it's quite intense.
Okay.
I can't imagine why. But
nor do I.
there we go.
I mean, obviously, it's one of those films that can be
Appeals to
left
a
on the
certain
shelf.
crowd.
Exactly.
There we go. Number 2, Bridget Jones.
Of a similar ilk.
Well, it's got a colon in it.
Yes.
And I think this is the colon exception that breaks the rule, isn't it? Because apparently Bridget Jones : Mad About the Boy is supposed to be bloody brilliant.
Well, Nikki's seen it twice so far at the cinema.
Wow.
Yes.
Only because I had a free ticket and my mum really wanted to see it. So
Oh, apparently
Was
it's
it
not that good
better?
then.
Was it just as good the second time around?
Do you know what? I actually enjoyed it more. I think because then I noticed more of the Easter eggs, or I noticed more things. I like that with films in general, watching them another time, because you notice things you hadn't noticed the first time, or things
As
like
the,
that.
as the newbie, and kind of continuing that on a little bit more, that's something that I've really learnt to cherish, is like seeing a film that you really enjoyed a second time, where you lose the elements of surprise,
Yes.
but it does enable you to get so much more
I think, exactly. I think you have more of a connection with the actors and the storyline and the director, because you're less fascinated by the initial screen, and you're more in depth with it. I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
And particularly if you've watched it twice at the cinema, one week and then another week, or maybe even the same week.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I had a few weeks in between. And I did enjoy it again the second time. I probably would still keep the score the same.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you.
I think I gave it about a 7.
Yes.
However, I did really enjoy knowing what was coming up next, and noticing things I didn't notice the first time round.
Good.
So I always recommend going to see films the second time.
Nice. And what's number 1, Peter?
So I was just really enjoying my picture of Adrian Brody.
On our
Yeah.
scoreboard, yeah.
Number 1 is Mickey 17,
Mickey 17.
which is the film we're reviewing this week.
Which is quite good, actually, because we're reviewing the number 1 film at the cinema at the moment.
Yeah, that means we were late. How did it make... Well,
I think it's been publicised quite significantly.
yeah, it's been trailing for ages,
Yes.
and it's got a blooming superstar actor in
And
it.
it's got a fantastic cast in it as well. So, from my experience, the cinema was very busy. Was it very busy for you?
Oh, it's packed, like literally not a seat.
Which is a great sign for the cinema.
So I did something I've never done before, actually, because I went and I went to Everyman, which is blocks of 2 or single seats.
Yes.
And I booked a single seat, and the woman who was supposed to be sat next to me
Yes.
had put all of her bags and stuff on the single seat next to her. And so I went to sit on the double seat, and then I checked the booking to see if anyone was actually going to be sat on my seat. So I went back onto the website and to see whether someone, and I was just like, I'm sorry, you're going to have to move it because someone's coming. And she was like, oh, that's a really clever, smart idea. I went, actually, I was quite chuffed myself.
Nice.
There we go.
There you go. So you got a double seater.
No, I had to sit on the single
He's-
seat because
he's a
someone was
single-seater.
fucking, honestly, can't even get through one sentence without losing attention. Brilliant.
So that's your top 10 for week 72 of the Popcorn Pundits.
You know what? It's like going to see Ralph in the cedar tree in Marlow, and he's exactly the same. You start a conversation, and literally by the end of it, he's smushing an avocado, and he's lost you.
Yes,
He's totally lost you.
Sometimes a short attention span is actually quite handy because you know that people are intensely listening to you, but for a short amount of time.
I know that you're never listening to me. Ever. Right.
Let's crack on.
So
Mickey 17.
this has been trailed for ages.
We've both seen it. We're both see this independently.
Yes.
So
we don't
I'm-
have a clue what the other thought about it.
Not in the slightest.
You know that I've been quite giddy about this, and you know I've been quite excited
I do.
about this coming out. And ever since I saw the first trailer, I've been like, oh, this is the first film. I would say this is the first film.
Yes.
Apart from Nosferatu.
Yes.
That the trailer has got me.
Gooey.
I want to say moist.
Say it.
Moist.
Moist.
It's got me wet. God damn it.
He said it, and it's now on screen, so it's for you to digest
It's
that.
there in your ears forever.
Aren't you lucky, you lucky listener?
It's on YouTube for life.
That's right. So, Petey,
I'll never be president.
would you like to give us a small synopsis without giving too much away?
Oh, well, I always start this and then you always cut me off and tell me I'm telling too much.
Exactly, that's the reason why.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, Robert Pattinson and his mate Tommy are two little kind of sewer rat type characters
On Earth.
on Earth, and and they well, Tommy convinces Mickey
Yes.
to invest in a macaroon business because
That's right.
macaroons are going to be the new burgers.
They are,
But they are not.
aren't they?
They are not.
What happened?
Well, basically, they took out a loan from a dodgy loan shark,
That's right.
and he wants his money back.
He does indeed.
So they're trying to get the hell out of Dodge. Dodge being Earth.
Yes.
There are spaceships leaving Earth and trying to colonize other planets, and these guys are trying to get onto one of those ships to go to another planet. So they basically
So it's
they
got
can
like-
avoid the loan shark.
So it's got a kind of like a dystopian sort of vibe, hasn't it, really?
Yeah,
It's got
because
a sort
I'm
of grungy...
I'm hoping on your sheet
Yes.
you have reference
Aye,
movies.
massive references.
Excellent. Anyway, so the
Take it away.
queue to get onto these spaceships,
Massive.
massive.
Yes, and you've got to have qualifications, you've got to have money, you've got to know somebody.
Yeah, and this one particular spaceship is being sponsored by a charity
Yes,
and a business.
that's right.
And the leader of this charity business, or the elected new leader of the new world, which they're going to kind of populate,
Yes.
is played by Mark Ruffalo.
That's right.
And yeah,
And his
it's-
wife is played by
Oh, I can't remember, who is it? Tell me.
Tony Cotti.
Oh yes.
Yes,
Yeah, that's not how you pronounce it.
doesn't really matter. You've asked me, and I've told you how it is in my head. That's how it is in my
I
head.
think it's Tony Collette.
It is.
Exactly.
Perfect. We're good for each other, aren't
Aren't
we?
we just?
Yeah, we fill in each other's
You filling me in right now.
sandwiches. Brilliant.
Bagels.
Anyway, so there's not really any way. This just says so much, doesn't it? There's no real way of getting onto this spaceship. However, Mickey finds a way, and he basically decides to sign up to be an expendable.
right.
And we're not giving anything away with this because
It's
this is
all
the
in the advert.
This is
It's
all
all
in
in the
trailer.
advert, yes.
Exactly right. And basically, what that means is that no one has any respect for his life whatsoever. So he gets sent on all these absolutely awful missions to do all the dangerous stuff.
That's
like he's basically told to take his mask off, and he has to inhale the
gases
the
and so on.
atmosphere.
So basically, they're using him as a human guinea pig to solve any problems.
Exactly right.
In
He's
that
the-
4-year journey from Earth to the new planet.
He's the proverbial bird in a cage.
100%.
Yeah.
However, every time he dies, what happens?
He gets reprinted.
Exactly.
So they separate his brain and put his brain into this memory brick, and then they reprint his body, put his brain back into his body.
That's right.
And lo and behold, there we go.
And-
However,
and-
there
and-
are slight fluctuations in personality.
Slight, only minor, but there is a continuous link of memory, and his body looks exactly the same to the point where they decided to actually burst a pimple before they actually do his initial scan. Because the initial scan is a scan that's going to be repeated over and over again, like
And
a
they
photocopy.
don't want it to be there every time they reprint him.
Exactly.
However, he leaves the one on his bottom.
He does indeed. Can't imagine Robert Pattinson with a pimple on his bottom. He's told us, and now I believe him.
Well, no, weirdly, you see his bottom, and I couldn't see a pimple.
No, I was looking out for
I
it.
bet you were.
I was indeed.
Batman never gets pimples.
It's
Yes,
it's a
indeed.
very bouncy bottom.
So there you have. So realistically, what we have there is we have the synopsis, which is pretty much sent to you via the trailer, with a great soundtrack of Dean Martin with 8 kick in the head, with a hand being chopped off and a hand floating off into the distance, and it's very jovial and very light-hearted, and this is pretty much what you get through the whole movie. You get that light-heartedness.
Yeah, there is basically because there is no fear of death. There's no problem with dying
Not
because
at
he
all.
knows he's going to get reprinted.
That's right.
And the kind of running thing through this film is everyone who sits down with him says, "So what's it like? So what's it like to die?"
Yeah.
And for me, this felt very much like an adaptation of a book because there was a there's Mickey is doing a voiceover the whole way through the film talking about it, and the way it's spoken is very much literary. Isn't
it's narrated. No, so it's actually from a book called Mickey 7.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who wrote the book, but for me, it's the cast and the director. That to me is it's the stellar director that they've got involved.
Yeah,
with this film.
Absolutely. And would you like to pronounce his name? Would you like to have a go?
No, quite frankly, it's Bong Joon Ho.
That's only a couple of letters missed off, which isn't too bad for you. I would have a go at it saying Bong Joon Ho.
Thank you very much.
I would agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
and what did he do, James?
Well, did you know that he did Snowpiercer?
I beg your pardon?
Snowpiercer?
I don't even know what you said.
I've made you watch Snowpiercer with Chris Evans.
No, you haven't.
Haven't I?
You haven't
You're
said that, so
watching
you're
that
feeling-
next.
Okay.
Okay. So Snowpiercer is so Snowpiercer and this film have loads and loads of similarities.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, massive. So it's set in the future, dystopian, but this time the whole of the planet is completely frozen. Okay. Mm-hmm. And there is a train that's just travelling around the world continuously.
Okay.
And it never stops. Because if it ever stops, the ice will seize the machine, and you have very similar to this film, and going through all of Bong's work. There's always a massive divide between the classes and how those classes are sort of intermingled with each other, but there's a grey area in between the classes. It's the exact same with Parasite as well.
Yeah.
And during the film of Snowpiercer, do not watch the television series because it is pants, okay? But the film is absolutely weirdly excellent. It stars Chris Evans, not the DJ Chris Evans, okay? The other Chris Evans, Captain America Chris Evans,
yeah.
okay? But also John Hurt,
Oh, wow.
okay? And Tandy Swindon,
Oh, okay.
okay? And she plays,
He means Tilda Swinton.
yes, and she...
How do you know this?
Because he's dyslexic as well.
And she plays the Mark Ruffalo role, and also she plays both those roles together.
Oh, okay.
Yep, in that sort of authoritarian, slightly dictatoring, but also in an overly pantomime, quite amusing but also quite terrifying sort of manner.
Love Tilda Swinton.
She's absolutely amazing in this film. Absolutely amazing in this film.
Okay, cool.
And this film is a journey from one end of the train through the classes, and the classes are actually working their way up through the class system, all the way through the very
what's
end.
that other film that you like, Tier or something like that? Is when you got different classes on different levels.
That's Platform.
That's what I said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. We're communicating on a very
We
similar
got
level.
collectively have one brain.
So what we have here is what's very, very interesting about this film, Mickey 17, is that I'd like to pride myself in being able to read a film purely through the trailer. And I was surprised by this film because for me the trailer gave a very simplistic story about an individual going into space, being killed several times in a slightly amusing way, being carbon copied over and over again, and what mayhem could possibly happen, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean it's set up as this is who your star is, this is who your character is, but you're not really told in the trailer what the story's going to be.
Exactly. And I really relish that because the trailer gives nothing away how wide and how deep this film really is.
Oh, and it's an onion of a film, isn't it?
Massively.
Because
the layers and the layers and the
layers and the so character development and character relationship for me is the absolute maker of a great movie. And this has got every type of character in it that you would like.
100%.
His gutter snipe mate,
cartoon baddies, you've got
I mean Mark Ruffalo in this is absolutely.
The teeth are amazing.
He does look incredibly like our friend Phil Ball, doesn't he?
But also but also speaks like somebody who should be like a lot more orange with blonde hair. Very much. There's definitely references to that.
Yeah,
there's trumpage all the way through this.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what I really like about the start of the movie is that this movie in essence is not only a comedy, it's a sci-fi and there's social aspects to it as well. But it's also a really endearing love story as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Massive, it's a beautiful love story, and what I truly love about this film, and very similar to Parasite, is that the female roles are actually stronger than the male roles through personality, through physicality, and through activity as well.
Yes. And sexuality.
And sexuality as well. So what you have here is you have Robert Pattinson, who's the poster boy in Hollywood. He's like, the boy can do no wrong. But what's very clever is because the food is rationed. There's not at one point does anybody look buff? Does anybody look overly toned? Does anybody look like they've been to the gym at all? Everybody's looking sort of slim.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's food rationings, and I love those little moments of realism all the way through that, and yet. Robert Pattinson meets a character, and she works in the security aspect of the whole spaceship, and she's basically the alpha role within the relationship.
Well, her job is a combination of policeman, soldier, and fireman.
100%, which is beautiful.
You can't get more kind of alpha than that, can you? Really?
Yeah. Exactly.
And there's a beautiful moment, isn't there? Because we are allowed to mention about the
Yeah.
There's a moment where Mickey 17 is not dead, but still...
it's actually in the trailer as well when the two Mickeys turn up.
That's very true. And when they're duplicated, then literally they meet up with Nasha, the girlfriend, and she's instantly like, well, here we go, let's get the bedroom. And I just love that there was like no messing around. It's just like, come on. If there was two of me, you'd be thinking exactly the same. And I just thought...
So it's such a male role in that respect. It's so unconventional and so beautifully written.
But then also, like, it was almost like she just acknowledged it straight away.
Straight away.
There was not a, how could this have happened?
Not
it was
even
literally
blinked.
straight away. It's just like, right, let's get to the bedroom and get it on.
Let's lock that door. Let's get the oils out.
Made me giggle.
Exactly.
Made me proper giggle.
So you've got a fantastic selection of cast there. You've got elements of when they eventually start getting closer to the planet, other developments start coming around in reference to what's on the planet. We don't want to give too much away in reference to that, but the Mickey character is used to its detriment over and over again. In that respect as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the story spreads out even further in a way that you pretty much expect it to start happening at that point. It's not overly complicated in that respect.
This is a movie about colonisation of a new planet.
That's right.
There is obviously going to be something on that planet. And we won't say what it is or how it is, whatever. However, I thought the creation, the animation, the others, the CGI, the character that they were, that they had. I just thought all of it was brilliant. I just thought
it's very rare that you get a CGI thing, which won't go to too many, which actually near the end you realise they've actually got a good sense of humour.
Yeah.
And you think that's actually really funny.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I just thought as the other being thing, I just thought they were absolutely brilliant and actually really made the story.
100%.
And they
usually those sort of things ruin the story.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, and it's just really, really well done. But then, I also I love the hierarchical aspect of it. I love the fact that you kind of soon realise that the purpose of this spaceship going over there is they're all going to be rationed on the way there.
That's right.
On the promise of it being party time. They're going to grow food. They're going to eat food, and they are going to make the rumpy pumpy.
That's right. Yeah.
And create the new race.
That's right.
But it's all kind of done under the umbrella of this religion.
That's right.
And but yeah, so no, it's just
it's a pantomime, it's a thriller, it's a comedy, it's a sci-fi.
Let's get some references. I want you to say Fifth Element.
Fifth Element all the way. Fifth Element all the way. However, 12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys too, yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Right. Yeah.
That's got a fun. And as I said, I cannot believe you've not seen Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer is such a fantastic sort of reference to that all the way through. Brazil is another one as well with the hierarchy, and you've even got a little bit of 1984 thrown in there as well.
Yeah, I guess.
So you've got all those elements going through there, which work incredibly well. It's incredibly well produced, really well edited. The music is incredible all the way through it.
Robert Pattinson is sensational in this.
Yes.
It's
so low key.
It's
so low key.
And he's so soft and he's so... Yeah, it's just a...
Yeah, he doesn't try to steal the spotlight at all through this in this life.
No, he's verging on pathetic the whole
and
way
what I also love about this film, traditionally when there are clones of individuals, if they're not using twins or whatever.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say this.
There's usually an element of it's just jarring just slightly. It's obvious that they're using an extra with the hands or whatever, or there's obviously they're using somebody's back of the head, or it's obviously there's a line around the CGI. Not at one point. Not at one point, even during the sex scenes, not at one point did you think to yourself, there's You believe that there was you believe there was two individuals there.
Yeah, totally.
Very, very well
I
done.
just reckon you're distracted by the pimple on his bottom.
Very, very well done. So there you have it.
There we go.
I don't want to give too much away because I think the second half of the story, without the trailer information, we should keep that close to our chest.
Yeah, I think we should too.
Is
Who's
that it?
going to score first?
I'm going to score it. I'm going to give it an 8.8.
Ooh.
I want it on that board, Unga.
Yeah, it's on the board. You know how giddy I was.
Yeah.
I did come out a little disappointed, I've got to say. It wasn't quite as good a film as I was expecting it to be.
Watch it again.
I will watch it again.
Yeah.
100%. I'll probably watch it 2 or 3 times.
I think I'm going to go with somebody next week.
So mine's an 8.2.
Okay.
And I really had this in the 9s from the trailer. I was really expecting this to be an up there movie.
Yeah.
And it just fell a little flat for me, and I only because I had such high expectations.
Mm-hmm.
You always say don't go into a film with expectations because it ruins the film. I hate to say you're right. I went in there too giddy.
I make that an 8.5.
Yeah.
Is there?
Now, in our top 10, in our high scores, we've got quite a few 8.5s.
Fuck it, 8.3. Fuck it, I changed my mind.
Alone
What can you do to make it better? I'm going to add one number. 8.3.
Are you sure?
It's going on the board.
Okay.
That means The Apprentice comes off.
Oh, fucking... I
Has to
should
get-
have looked at the board because it's better than a lot of the movies on there.
Well, there you go.
What did you give it?
8.8.
Fuck it, it's an 8.8.
You can't...
It is, that's what I'm doing.
There you go.
Okay.
Tell me I can't do something, I'm doing it.
It's just above Saltburn.
I know we're not supposed to
Just
compare it to other movies,
So that
but
makes
it's
it
better than
8.8.
Saltburn.
That's right. So just above Saltburn, knocking in
So
The
it's the
Apprentice off our charts.
It's the same score as Heretic
Yes.
and The Brutalist.
I agree.
Yes,
100%.
I still can't say.
That's where it is.
Heretic
Sorry,
without
my
saying-
score was wank. I apologise. I
There you
shouldn't have
go.
given 8.2. I was being too mean on you, Robert. I'm back.
He's back. He's back in the room.
What day of the week would
You
you
said
watch
I was
it?
in a bad mood today, didn't
You decided to say you're a bit weird and you're bad. I said
Yeah.
you were very distant and a little bit alienated from the world.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not shit.
What was your question, Nikki?
I
Sorry.
love how you both listened to my question. I said, what day would you watch it?
It is actually a watch it any day of the week. It's a great Saturday night movie, isn't it?
It's great. It's a Friday, Saturday night movie. It's just full of...
We could segue here.
No.
It's a Friday night movie.
Yes.
Yes,
That's for an
indeedy.
announcement later. Would you like some facts?
Did we just
Yes,
get put back
please.
in that box?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like
shit.
Thank you, producer.
Like my therapist always told me to do, put your problems in that box and put the box away. So this
That's
is
healthy.
this is an
It's a
adaptation.
sex therapist.
This is an adaptation of a novel, the novel Nikky 7 by Edward Ashton.
Thank you.
The planet is called Niflheim, which is Norse mythology, and it remains in a realm of a permanent state of winter, the afterlife for those who do not die a heroic death.
Norseman.
Was it Nickelheim?
No, Niflheim.
Niffle.
Niflheim.
Okay.
Heim.
Oh, you went
I
all
should've-
Jewish when you
She
said
did
that.
Jiffheim.
I was going Dutch German.
Okay.
The film cast includes 3 Oscar nominees, which is Toni Collette, Mark Ruffalo, and Stephen Yen.
Yes.
This is Bong Joon Ho's first film after an Oscar-winning film that he did in 2019.
Parasite.
Parasite.
Yeah.
Can I just interject? Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen the television series Beef on Netflix?
Give me a clue.
Super stressy. 2 individuals have a small collision of 2 cars together, and then they spend the rest of the series, literally like 10 episodes, trying to kill each other continuously.
No.
Yeah. Well, the actor who played Robert Pattinson's friend, called...
The friend's name?
Yeah.
Stephen Yen.
Stephen Yen.
Tommy was the name.
Yeah. He was the lead in the television series Beef, won a bazillion awards.
Right.
So, yeah, so they obviously got him in because he did have that slightly stressy, seedy, character-driven...
There was a film which was very similar, and I thought I'd seen it, but I hadn't
Okay.
seen the film. But it was like, oh, brain work today. Come on, it'll come to me in a minute.
Okay, right. Sorry, Nikki.
That's okay. Stephen Yen
Yes.
has also been in The Big Bang Theory.
Has he?
as Sebastian, and he was in a 2009 film called Jerry, as he played a character called Chaz.
Yeah, I didn't recognise him from anything.
No,
And
but
I was trying to work out what he'd been in because he has one of those faces that you'd think I've seen you in something before, but can...
I think he's one of these ones who also just randomly pops up.
Yeah,
he's a
maybe.
bit like Nick Mohammed, just randomly pops up in stuff.
Yeah.
One last fact. While it's well known that Pattinson plays multiple versions of Mickey due to the cloning process, what many don't realise is that the director insisted on filming certain key scenes without Pattinson knowing which version of Mickey he was playing until just before shooting. This method was meant to capture the confusion and dread of the clone struggling with his own identity, leading to some of the film's most unsettling and raw performances.
Nice. He's a clever director.
He's
isn't
a
he?
very clever
He's
director.
I do like him. I rate him.
Yeah, this film is just such a trifle.
But if you look, once you see Snowpiercer, and you will watch Snowpiercer, you'll be able to put these three films in a line and go, wow. Very similar to, our friend Dennis, and, where he has a whole range of movies. He's got Prisoners, he's got Arrival, and all the different... But
themes running through them.
Yeah, exactly. So very, very clever director.
Yeah, I mean, so if you like Parasite, you will like this because it has got that movie intellect. It is smartly put together.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah. A lot funnier than Parasite, though.
I thought Parasite was hysterical.
Oh, it was, but I think it's still a lot funnier. I think it wasn't as dark as Parasite came across sometimes.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. You're entitled to your subjective opinion.
Absolutely. Are you finished with your facts, Nikki?
Yes, all done.
Thank you very much for your facts.
That's okay.
So there we have it, 8.8 for Mickey 17. Now, traditionally, we usually like to highlight a little bit of homework I've given Peter, but he's been incredibly busy this week doing his daytime job. How very dare you be so bloody busy with your daytime job? So
is there anything else that you'd like to replace my homework with, James?
Well, last week I gave you District 9, which I still think you should watch at another time because it is absolutely amazing. However, now I've realised you haven't watched Snowpiercer the movie, and you've enjoyed the Mickey 17 journey. To me, my gift to you is Snowpiercer the movie.
Bless you, thank you very much.
John Hurt, Chris Evans, not the DJ.
Yeah. He's not going to be diverted at all today, is he?
I know. And also, you've completely missed out my sequel, so you can...
Now it's time for Nikki's sequel.
While we're talking about Peter's homework...
Yes.
Sorry, you were about to say something, Peter.
I was going to say, let's do a theme tune.
Yeah.
Sequel.
The 2013 film.
That's right.
It's available at the moment on ITVX, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Sky Store, and Curzon.
You need to watch it. Okay, put aside some time. Honestly, it's fantastic. Watch it from start to finish. Then.
Okay.
Pull the blinds.
How does my theme tune go?
It goes, Nikki's sequel, it's here. It's going to be great. Listen.
Okay, so this time last year, we didn't actually review any films.
Was this the week?
No, it wasn't.
No,
we actually...
That week.
I think that's next week.
We actually had an Oscars special.
Did we?
So the Oscars had just happened and we talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually allowed to sit with you on the sofa, so I was very...
Don't get used to it, smart.
It's happened a couple of times.
I know, maybe twice.
Twice, I think.
At the Oscars, the song "I'm Just Ken" was performed. And it was presented by Jimmy Kimmel, who did an okay presenting job. I was talking about the in memoriam section.
Yes.
And Peter asked, did anyone good die? And I said, yes. One person I forgot about. So Matthew Perry was in last year.
What?
No, the person I forgot about was Michael Gambon. The actor in a leading role was Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer even. The actor in a supporting role was Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer. Actress in a leading role was Emma Stone for Poor Things. Actress in a supporting role was Divine Joy Randolph, or as James kept saying, Rudolph, in The Holdovers. Animated feature film, The Boy and the Heron won, but Peter was upset that it wasn't Spider-Man Spider-Verse. You were absolutely heartbroken about that.
Were.
And Emma Stone's dress broke, didn't it?
It did, and she blamed I'm Just Ken for that.
Yeah.
And James said June 2 should have won for cinematography, but obviously it wasn't eligible because it had only just been released. We
That's right.
reviewed it the week before, and we all joked that it would win
That's
it.
stupid.
We all joked that it would win it this year. But for cinematography, it was not. It was The Brutalist that won it. However, Dune 2 was nominated.
Interesting.
Yeah, but we didn't have the foresight to know that the Brutalist was about to come out.
And to be fair, it's a difficult Oscar ask if you're waiting a whole 12 months for the next awards to arrive as well. Traditionally, they usually release a movie to at least perhaps no more than 2 months away from the Oscars, so then it's fresh in everybody's mind, so they're more likely to vote for it. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, but that's not how the Oscars get voted. They send DVDs out to all of the Academy members, and they vote on it.
Yes.
And they don't do that 2 months before and they do it before the films are released.
Yes. But it's still fresh in your mind.
Okay, yeah, great.
That's what I see it.
Okay.
There you go. That's your sequel for
There you
this
go.
week.
Thank you very much.
Before we talk about what you're excited. What films are you watching next week?
Oh, good question. I didn't know I was at the cinema over the weekend.
So there is one that looks like it's coming out tomorrow.
Right.
Friday the 14th, called Last Breath.
Yes, I've seen the trailer for that. It's
It
Woody
stars-
Harrelson, isn't it?
Yeah. It says a true story that follows seasoned deep sea divers
Oh, that looks terrible.
as they battle the raging elements to rescue their crewmate trapped hundreds of feet below the ocean's surface.
I do know what I'm watching this weekend, and I'm watching it Friday night. I'm watching Black Bag.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, no, it's been rumoured to be amazing.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I have to say, to be fair, on just one occasion, I've looked at the trailer and I thought, it looks a little bit slower than it should be. And I've actually convinced somebody else that it's going to be slower than it should be, who's quite giddy about the idea. But apart from that, I've heard some amazing things about it, and I've heard it's Steven Soderbergh. He's back on form. And I know you're funny about Michael Fassbender.
And what's the leading actress in it called?
Kate Blanchett.
I'm quite funny about both of them.
I know you are.
And,
but how amazing was she in Tar?
Yeah, she was good in Tar. Yeah, she was amazing in Tar.
Yeah, and that's on our...
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah, 8.6.
But it just... Every time I've seen a trailer, I'm just like, this is just not a film for me. I just
feels-
don't believe the
It
characters.
feels a little bit television film.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
It just, to me, it does. So we will report back next week.
Will you be watching Marching Powder?
No.
Okay.
Is
Fair
the simple answer to that?
Okay. Do we want to make an announcement, or should I quickly tell you that we've had someone get in touch with us?
Let's do this. Get in touch first.
So
This is the most patient I've ever known you. It's like
No,
really quite
I'm
off-putting.
actually really surprised he's made it this far. It's quite scary.
I've
isn't
even
it?
tried to kind of like coax him in.
I know you
Me
have.
too. That's why I was like, "What are you watching next
Yeah.
week?"
Exactly. You've been like poking at the badger's nest.
Yeah, I've
Leo
been touching a button.
Miles.
Yes.
Has-
Hi, Leo.
Oh, hi, Leo.
He's finally said. He said, "Right."
Hi,
so
stranger.
I caught up with 3 weeks in the incorrect order.
Okay,
Oh,
stop
right.
there. Why has
3
he not
weeks?
listened for 3 weeks?
Exactly.
I don't
What's he
think we
been
should read-
doing?
I don't think we should read this out.
He just put Cabin in the Woods will be watched, and the transgender Mexican film will be on the list too.
I should hope so
if
too.
if you've ever followed Leo on Instagram, you know he's going to love Amelia Perez. He's a Zumba queen, he is.
I can imagine being well into that.
Yeah, he
yes.
loves it.
He'd be doing the odd dance. He'd be learning the lyrics, all the songs, all the raps. Go for it, Leo.
I will say you can also listen to our podcast in any order you like.
You tell him, Nikki.
Yeah, but you just can't. If you're Leo, you can't not listen for 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah, no,
that's
that's
unacceptable. That means he hasn't been for a run for 3 weeks.
Oh, naughty boy.
Naughty Leo. So, we're coming near the end of the podcast, and we traditionally start a papa now.
Should we just end it now?
No,
Yeah,
we're not
I
ending
think
it
we
now.
should.
What we're doing is we are announcing a very, very special event at the end of the month. For those popcorn pundits out there that want to see us physically, want to touch us, want to smell us, you have the opportunity to watch us do our business in public.
How did you make that sound so bad?
Because it's James. He put a James spin on it.
Wow. Do you want to kind of elaborate?
carry
I think Peter should carry on, otherwise he'll ruin this.
The Bourne End Library
Yes, right.
has basically asked us to host the Book House Cinema.
That's right.
Thank you, producer.
That's okay.
So, for anyone who didn't get that, we've got our own cinema.
We do. We have. we've got our own monthly cinema night. We would love you to join us on the very first night, which is good. And we're going to be screening the classic film. We're going easy to start off with. We're going One Life. We're going for a local hero. We're ensuring that we get as many bums on seats as possible. Now, it's six.
Also, brilliant movie.
A brilliant
we
movie.
scored it 9.2. It was one of the first films that we reviewed, and it stayed up there.
It has.
Like for 71 weeks, it stayed in our top 10.
What I didn't realise was that I'm going to be highlighting this at the cinema. I drive past his old house every day.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and
the Maidenhead house, not the one.
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, so we've got our own cinema.
We do
we're going
indeed.
to be screening a different movie on the last Friday of every month.
That's right.
Yes.
And are we going to talk about the associations and?
Yes, we are indeed. So, Bourne and Library are going to be charging £6 a ticket, and all the money goes towards facilitating this fantastic opportunity for you to come and watch. I think we make it very clear. The Popcorn Pundits are choosing the movies, and our choice of movies is usually down to films that we feel that haven't had the accolade that it should have had, haven't had the film exposure that it should have had, but we also feel that it's pretty much in our top 20 list. We are championing these amazing films that may not have won an amazing award, but we think they deserve a film. We deserve a good screening.
Firstly, we're going to be showing films which we both think are amazing.
Absolutely,
and
all three of us.
All three of us think are amazing. But some of them haven't been as seen as much as whatever. Some of them have been.
It's a mixture.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a smorgasbord.
Absolutely, but it does give us the opportunity to meet our listeners and viewers face to face. We'll be doing a little bit of an introduction to the movies,
100%.
and then you'll be selling. You've got a tuck shop going, haven't you?
So the whole idea about the entire evening, it is basically Popcorn Pundits presents the Bookhouse Cinema at the Bourne End Library, raising money for Food Share with our little tuck shop. So the idea is you come along and you buy snacks while you're watching the movie, and all that money goes towards Food Share.
And to make it really clear,
yes,
Bourne End Library have actually really invested in this.
100%.
This isn't just like us turning up with a tiny little.
There's not a TV. We've got a projector.
Not just a projector. They have actually bought a brand new 4K HD top of the range projector. Right. They've repainted the end wall of the library with special cinema paints.
Yeah.
So this isn't going to be shit.
No,
this is actually going to be a really, really great place to watch a movie, and we're going to do our best to not ruin it.
That's right. Please come along if you're free on Friday the 28th of March. Book your tickets at ASAP. They're going like hotcakes.
So yeah, tickets the link is in our bio on our Instagram. It will take you to the Facebook page. Oh, sorry, you can do that when we get in touch. It will link you to our Facebook page, which is where you can get the tickets. Tickets will also be available on the door if there are any left.
Oh, they're selling tickets at the library now. You can go into the library and buy tickets on the desk where you pay your fines. If you're local to Bourne End.
Brilliant. So there you have it.
That's exciting news, isn't it, James?
Very, very exciting indeed.
How can people get in touch with us apart from coming to the cinema?
Oh, they can get in contact with us by leaving a comment under our YouTube video or on our Facebook page, or they can DM us on Instagram, or they can WhatsApp us if they know. I'm not on the cinema group that you set up on WhatsApp.
Aren't you?
You haven't added me to a group about going to the cinema.
You don't need to be, because there's a Popcorn Pundits group that you're on anyway.
Anyway, sorry, I digress.
Yes.
Or you can. Well, how else can you get in contact with us? I mean, that's basically. Oh no, actually, so when you stream our podcast, whichever platform you stream us from, there is a message us button, and you click the message us button, and it comes through as a text message.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us who you are.
That's
so
right.
unless you want to be anonymous. You try to say that. Say no, I'm anonymous.
Anonymous.
Beautiful. Just let us know who you are.
Yes, right. Your job.
My thought then
was,
let's do the papas like a question.
Really?
Yeah, I've got to do it different every week.
Tell.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Popcorn Pundits, week 72. Press the button.
Okay. I'm quite disappointed with my papas.